Okay, this is just going to be a quick video for a little bit more complex versions of using interval notation. So in this case, we have two distinct regions that we need to write solutions for, so we're going to see how to do that. Just a reminder of what came before this. So remember when we were just doing single intervals, when an endpoint isn't included on a graph, then that's where we're going to have open dots. And when we want to include the endpoint, that's where we're going to have solid dots. And so we would have open dots when there was no equals on the greater than or less than, and then we'd have closed dots for the equals. And then in terms of the interval notation, when we used a greater than or a less than, but without an equals, those were always going to be parentheses for those endpoints. And when we have one where we had equals in it, those are going to be brackets. And then anytime we do infinity, so like for this, we're going out to negative infinity. Infinity, we always use parentheses to indicate. And so let me just get rid of that now. Delete. So to summarize, if I have less than or greater than on the graph, open dot, and in interval notation, parentheses. If I have less than or greater thans with equals to, solid dot on the graph, and square brackets to show that that endpoint is included. So that's kind of what we need to know about interval notation. For this, we have two distinct intervals, and we always remember start on the left-hand side and then work our way across. So this arrow looks like it's going to go out to negative infinity, and for the infinities, we always use a parenthesis. So our farthest point to the left is negative infinity, and then, oops, I did not mean to do that, and then that's going to go up to the -2. And because that's an open dot, that means it's not included, and I would use a parenthesis there. The way that we handle that break in the graph is with a symbol that's called union. It just basically looks like a capital U. And that lets us skip over this part. So we're saying this here or this thing over here are both solutions. So at 0, we have a solid dot, and solid dots get brackets. So we pick back up at 0, and then we head out to 2. And 2 is an open dot, so that will be a parenthesis. And that's basically how you handle interval notation for segments that aren't joined. And if there was a third segment on there, if I had, let's say I had that to infinity, I would just throw down another union, and then that 4 is a solid dot, and then that would go out to positive infinity. Hopefully that helps.